What's up, everybody? Welcome back to part 2 of one fight in every UFC division that needs to happen. Starting off, continuing where we left off. We're gonna start off with welterweight, and we got Geoff Neal versus Jack Della Maddalena. Now, this fight, I think, would be a really interesting fight. A really fun one too. Both are really, really good strikers. If you've all seen Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Geoff Neal, then you know, man, Neal can bang. He can bang. And Jack Della Maddalena has some of the best boxing in the welterweight division, in my opinion. Probably the best boxing, right behind Kamaru Usman. And he's a really good boxer. And starting off with one of the best reasons, I think, it gives Jack Della Maddalena a chance to break into the top 10 because he's ranked number 12, I believe. Kind of low for a prospect. He beat Kevin Holland, but to be fair, Kevin Holland is middleweight, welterweight. It's like he fights at welterweight and then middleweight and then welterweight and then middleweight. So there's no real ranking for Kevin Holland. He's just flopping back and forth, up and down between each division. But Jack Della Maddalena definitely deserves a top 10 fight. He deserves to be ranked in the top 10. He's on a good win streak, and I just think he deserves it. He's really good, doing really good in the UFC. It gives Geoff Neal a chance to get back into the win category because he just lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov. Let me double check that. I should have double checked it already, honestly. But I'm afraid that I didn't double check it. Yeah, he lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov. But I just think, honestly, it'd be a really, really great fight for both men. Gives Jack Della Maddalena a great chance to bring into the top 10. And if he wins by, maybe knockout or really, really, like a decisive win, like a dominant win is the word I was trying to use. Because Jack Della Maddalena has had some wins where he's like a one decisive. It's a fight where it's very decisive and you're thinking, oh, he won that. Jack Della Maddalena, and this is a losable fight for him too. I think it's a winnable fight for both men. Neal is really, really good with the striking. So is Jack, and I think it'd be a fun striking matchup. Moving on to middleweight, Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vettori. Brendan Allen will be ranked in the top 5. It gives him a chance to break into the top 5. This fight will prove if Brendan Allen can hang with the top 5. Because let's talk about what he did to Paul Craig. Paul Craig was praised, everybody sucking his dick as like, oh, he's the best jiu-jitsu, he's the best middleweight grappler. And then he got submitted and dominated by Brendan Allen. And no disrespect to Paul Craig, I'm sure he is still top 5 grapplers in the UFC or whatever everyone calls him as. The best jiu-jitsu artist in the middleweight division. It's a winnable fight for both men because Brendan Allen, as good as he is, he's never fought anyone to the level of Marvin Vettori. Marvin Vettori can eat shots. And Marvin Vettori is like that volume striker, like if Holloway was a 185er, kind of, really you could say. But with better grappling. And Marvin Vettori has really, really good grappling. He has 9 submissions. He has 9 submission wins in the UFC, I believe. So it's not going to be an easy fight on the ground for Brendan Allen. It's not like, oh, Brendan Allen has horrible striking, just take him down and submit him. No, Marvin Vettori has really, really good wrestling and really, really good jiu-jitsu. He has 9 submission wins in the UFC. I believe is what I checked last time I was doing my research. But I think if Brendan Allen can beat Marvin Vettori and prove, this fight will prove if Brendan Allen can hang with the top 5. And if he can prove he can hang with the top 5, who knows, maybe one day he'll get a title shot against John Strickland if he's still champion, or maybe Dricus du Plessis or Izzy or Hamza or Robert Whittaker, whoever's champion at the time. Moving on to light heavyweight, Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev. The first fight ended horrible, and it was sketchy, honestly. The rematch will determine who's a better fighter. I know a lot of people thought Magomed Ankalaev won. People say, oh, Jan won based off of the leg damage or the punching stats. I watched it. I didn't watch it when it aired on 282. I watched it right before I did research for this video because I was thinking, well, what would be like a good light heavyweight fight? Because Jamal Hill relinquished the belt because of his shoulder. Yuri just got knocked out. Alex Pereira, there's no rumors of him for 300 or 301 or 305. There's no rumors of him for anything in the future. And I'm thinking, well, Jan Blachowicz already has a fight scheduled. But I mean, these are just fights that I think should happen, need to happen in the future, one day. Because the first fight, when these two were announced to fight at UFC 282, I was stoked. I thought Jan was gonna win, honestly, and then I rewatched it earlier, doing research for this fight, and I was thinking that was more close than I determined it would be. I honestly didn't think it would be that close, because when the fight ended and everyone was like, well, robbery, Magomed Ankalaev won, Russian man won. I don't think it was a robbery. Because it wasn't one-sided. I don't think it was one-sided. To say it's a robbery, and I hate when people say the word robbery, like, oh, it was a robbery. For the fight to be a robbery, it has to be one-sided beatdown. That was not a one-sided beatdown at all. That was close. Round 1 was close. You could say rounds 1, 3, and 5 were Magomed Ankalaev's. You could also say rounds 1, 2, and 3 were Jan's. Maybe one's round 2 and 4. But it's so close that to determine who was the actual winner, you'd have to watch round 1, frame for frame, punch for punch, kick for kick, takedown for takedown, knee for knee, elbow for elbow, ball lick for ball lick. I mean, round 1 was so close. In my opinion, it could have gone either way. And if Jan won, I want to be upset because of how close it was. If Magomed won, I want to be upset about how close it was. It's just frustrating that as soon as, like, there's a curse on that division. Jon Jones leaves. Jan's the champion. Jan loses to Glover. Glover loses to Yuri. Yuri gets injured, so he relinquishes the belt. Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira for the belt. Bam. Jamal Hill is the new champion. He's going to defend it. Come to figure out, Jamal Hill had to relinquish the belt because of an injury. So then you're like, well, what now? You got Magomed Ankalaev versus Jan Blachowicz for the belt. No. Yuri vacates, and then Magomed Ankalaev versus Jan Blachowicz was for the belt, and then that ended in a draw, and then it was Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira, and then Glover relinquished, so it was Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka for the belt. But the division has been a shambles. It's like, when Jon Jones first became champion, it was him running through everybody easily. And now it seems that there can never be just a stable champion in that division. Moving on to heavyweight, the most obvious fight, Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Number 1, better name on the Jones resume than Miocic. Stipe's 40 and washed. Hey, don't send any hate my way. Honestly, it's been a few years since he had a UFC fight, and he's been sorry, I'm yawning. He's been a firefighter for the past few years, and when you're out of competition like that and you get straight back into it, he's almost 40 and he's washed. Jon Jones has been more active in the past 5 years than Stipe has, like, his entire career. Okay, maybe not that. That's too far-fetched. Okay, forgive me. But I think, honestly, look above Jones' head. More interesting than Jones versus Miocic, honestly. Because the narrative was, oh, Stipe is going to get ran through even though he has a puncher's chance. Tom Aspinall is young, he's hungry, and he beat Sergey Pavlovich. Tom Aspinall, it's winnable for Tom Aspinall. If you look above his head, it's really winnable for Tom Aspinall. Number one, because he's the better striker. Tom Aspinall, in my opinion, is the better striker. He's got better boxing, better kicking, but the fight IQ of John Jones is what makes him one of the best mixed martial artists. It's not John Jones doesn't have, like Anthony Smith said, you take everything and dissect it in John Jones. He's not the best boxer, he's not the best kicker, he's not the best wrestler, he's not the best jiu-jitsu artist, but when he mixes everything together plus his fight IQ, that's what makes him really good. Because it's MMA, dumbass. And Anthony Smith was tripping on acid, sucking on mushrooms, eating dick. But it's a really, really winnable fight for Tom Aspinall. And hey, if John Jones wins, I think it is a better name on his resume. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's 9:20 in the morning and I'm tired. But I do think it's a better name on his resume than Stipe Miocic. I mean, Stipe has a better legacy than, at this time, he has a better legacy than Tom Aspinall. So, it's a really good legacy fight. But if John Jones comes back and fights Stipe Miocic, how long will Tom Aspinall sit out? Who's he going to fight? Cyril Gane? Cyril Gane just lost to Jones. He doesn't deserve that fight for an interim belt. Tom Aspinall versus Jason Almeida. I mean, Tom Aspinall is just going to knock him out or dominate him for 5 rounds because Jason Almeida has horrid striking. All he could do is hold Derek Lewis for 5 rounds and not even finish him. But it's just one of those things that's like, it's difficult to explain, really. I just really think it's a winnable fight for Jones, in my opinion. It's winnable for both men. Honestly, there's not too much to say about it. I think it's just more interesting than Stipe versus Jones. And I hope you all enjoyed part 2 of the video. Spread love, peace, and positivity, and enjoy your day.